I'll handle it. We're on. Hi everybody, it's Dara, and I am here with Marcus Rothkranz. And it's amazing because this is just such a serendipity. A couple of months ago, I decided that I really wanted to meet Marcus, and because of Jeff, the photographer, and divine timing, it happened today. And today, and we got to have lunch at Cafe Gratitude, and I found out why it is that my intuition said meet Marcus, and it's because that Marcus is representing my next level of learning and transformation. And what I have noticed is that, and the funny thing is right now we're like looking at each other, and sometimes we're going to look at you.
I don't know who to look at.
No, I want you to look at them because I want to share this with you guys. The point of this is that I am going to be seeing all of his videos and reading his books, and since I started finding out about what Marcus has been sharing with the world, I am obsessed. But when I started seeing the things that you have been offering to the world, free food and medicine, how to heal yourselves naturally and free, and raw vegan muscle, and how to look younger, and how to... I had no idea this was going on, honestly, because I haven't been tapped into other people's videos, and I just want to say that Marcus has a lot to share with us. So what I'm going to do here is just touch on some of the things that we talked about at lunch, and so you can share that with our YouTube family.
I'm ready.
Okay, so there's many things that I'm fascinated with, and there's so many things. There's traveling light. There's the fact that you spent 40 days in the desert nude.
That was the easy part, yeah.
I think that must be why you have, there's just this incredible magic, and it's not only the information that you have that you're sharing, but there's a spiritual or a philosophical lightness of being that has magic and mystery to it that is completely intriguing to me. So we can touch on your journey and how that experience changed you, and then we can talk about this green product that I can't even tell you what's in here that I'm excited about, and the books and the free food and medicine. So let's start whatever sparks your interest.
Ask a question.
Okay, I am going to say that what I want to know is, I think the thing that was really interesting to me at lunch was the idea of traveling light. And you know what I mean? Like I go and I get worried if I travel somewhere that I need to bring my chia seeds and my spirulina, and I don't want to feel heavy. My whole process, and everybody on this family channel knows that I'm decluttering and I want to be light. And I know that decluttering, creating space, creates opportunity for new things. And I think that you have achieved that. You're actually living that. Can you tell me about that?
I used to treat everything. I used to treat everything like it was a camping trip. I used to take, it was so packed with this huge, massive backpack in life, you know, where I was ready for anything. I had like the all-purpose Swiss Army knife with everything on it, and you know, the shovel, the 6 you know, things to. Anyway, and I had all this food and ready to just. If I was in the middle of nowhere and I was stranded, I was okay and I was ready for that.
Right.
And I realized after I was naked in the desert and I gave up, literally I went in there not even expecting to come back, I realized I really don't need anything. Everything that you ever need in life it's wherever you are, you're taken care of no matter what. That's the bottom line in life. It's no matter where you are and what you're doing. Even if you think you're alone, you don't own anything, you're on the street, you're always going to be taken care of. One of the, like, I was in the desert, literally, in the middle of
Why? Like, what? I'm not like, what
why was I in the desert? I had the good life that they told you to get. I was in Hollywood. I had the house, the wife, the car, all the material things. And I wasn't happy, and I was dying. I was actually falling, my heart was giving out. My doctor said I didn't have much longer. I was bleeding when I went to the bathroom. My glasses thicker than my finger.
Really?
I was so congested, I couldn't breathe. I was whistling when I was breathing. I'd like cough out or I'd choke to death. It was bad. And I wasn't happy.
You would never know. This man's 50 years old. He's 50.
I'm 51 this year.
51.
Yeah, there's a picture in the back of my book here where you can see.
We're all gonna Google you. We're gonna post links below. Everybody's gonna see what you used to look like at 27, but he's like gorgeous at 50 now. So you thought that you had this whole Hollywood life, and then you weren't happy that you had the courage to, or the.
Well, no, that's just it. Is that you get to a point in life where you just give up. Where it's either the universe pulls the rug out from under you, or you just have so much on your shoulders that it just collapses and you just can't go anymore. And actually, one of the best things that could have happened to a lot of people lately is that they had their house taken away and things were repossessed. It's like people look back on that now and go, "That's the best thing that ever happened to me." It's like now I'm free to finally get going on what I'm really here to do. But for me, it was like I just gave up. I just walked. I had too much. I don't know. I just wasn't. I just didn't want to go on the way I was, and so I just gave everything away. Literally took my clothes off, walked in the naked desert. I got down to zero, and I said to the point where I don't even care if I live, because unless I know the truth, I just don't even want to be around. And I think that's kind of how we all kind of feel deep inside. It's like, just tell me the truth. Just tell me what I have to deal with, and then I can deal with it. But if everybody just tells people what they think they want to hear, that's not the truth. And that's why there's usually a lot of relationship problems, because people aren't really telling each other the truth. The best time when people actually get along is after they break up, because then they start telling each other what they really would have said. And they say, why didn't you say that when we were together? And it's like, but that's just the point. Once you give up, that's when the truth starts coming out. That's when the truth starts coming in. And the greatest moment of your life is the moment before you die, because that's when you give up. You're no longer fighting. You're not resisting anymore.
That just makes me want to take a deep breath. This is what I heard at lunch, and I was like, now I know why I wanted to meet Marcus. Like, I know a lot of the stuff, we're very similar. Like, we talk about, it's not just the food, it's feeling, and it's the emotions, and it's a thought process, and it's so much. It's relationships, your relationship to your food.
Exactly.
It's getting to you were talking about also, it's getting to did we say enough about the desert? Okay, you went into the desert.
We can always go back.
Okay, we can go back. So it's not enough. It's about getting to the root of what's making you eat the foods.
Right. Well, it's not. People eat the wrong foods and things, and junk food and alcohol and cigarettes and other addictive things. And I say, stop blaming the cigarettes and the alcohol and the food. Why are people doing that? Why? Everybody knows an apple's better for you than pizza. So why are we not eating apples? Why are most people eating pizzas?
Why?
It's because they want to feel good for the next 4 hours. They don't care. It's the comfort food. It makes them feel good. It's like a drug. It's like, it just makes me feel good. I need this to just make it till tomorrow. And that's why people do that. Even though they know it's not good for them, they don't really care about the long-term effect. What they want is the short-term fix, so they can just make it to tomorrow. Well, why are people so bad off that they have to do something they know is bad for them just so they can make it another 4 hours? They must be pretty bad off if they deep down inside, if they really just need to keep doing this destructive stuff. So I say, forget blaming the food and the alcohol and the cigarettes and whatever it is, or the cheating on your wife or whatever the thing is. I said, why stop doing that and try to see where they're coming from? Why are they doing that? Why are they cheating? Why are they doing these corruptive things? And then you start feeling, and then you backtrack it. Well, it's because I have so much burden. I have to pay my bills, the mortgage, the kids, the wife, all this responsibility. It's just too much for me to handle. And I'm going, okay, how are you handling that? Well, I'm working in a job I really don't like, paying for a house that's not my dream house, it's not my dream car, the relationship's codependent, it's not my perfect whatever, so that's why most people are upset, because they're killing themselves for something that really isn't the life they want. And so I said, well, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you living the life you want? Well, there's a million reasons. Then their brain kicks in and says, and it's all, usually it's the programming in your brain that you get from other people, and it's all fear-based, and it's all telling you reasons. And I can get in a long conversation about this.
I would love to hear how we can help some people who are stuck in this cycle.
Everything you have in your head is basically something that somebody told you at some point. The media, history, other people, your parents, including what your parents were saying when you were in the womb, like, how are we going to afford this kid? We're going to have to work double jobs and whatever it is. You hear that.
Yes.
And what are we teaching our kids? We're teaching them we have to work really hard doing something we really don't enjoy doing to pay for something that really isn't our perfect whatever it is. And then it's gonna break up the relationship, and then you get old and you age and you die, and that's life. That's what we're teaching kids. Well, you know, and that's one of the reasons why people don't follow their heart, is because, oh, I got to take care of the kids, I got to take care of the job, or whatever it is. Well, look at what you're teaching them. You're unhappy having to do that. What if you actually got rid of all the stuff that is weighting you down? Lose the house, lose the car, lose your job, whatever it is. Go find your dream. Teach your kids.
Out in the woods, out in the country.
Teach your kids it's okay to lose things and to go find what you're really here for. Right. And once you realize that, you walk outside the door, that all most of the wild plants out there, like dandelions and grass, is edible. Cool. You realize you're never going to starve. Oh, look, let's go ahead. What's next? Clothes. Well, I guarantee you, call anybody you know, your friends, and say, I don't have any clothes. They'll give you clothes. Everybody's got a closet full of stuff they don't want. So now you have food and clothes. What's next? Love? Well, start telling the truth and see how people are going to love you. I mean, it's so simple.
You can't be with this man, and first of all, I feel like I'm with like brilliance, which is so cool. But the thing is that you were talking about how it sparked me when you said you just travel lightly, like maybe some whatever powder, green powder, and I was like, wow, that's so uncomplicated. And then you said, well, look, everything is presented to me. When I land where there always will be something presented to me that I need. Look at Gandhi. You mentioned Gandhi. You mentioned
all the great leaders in the world that we look up to as like the ultimate. Jesus and Gandhi. They had nothing. They were naked. They had a loincloth, and that was it. And they had more power than the people that were running the country. They were just walking naked through life, speaking the truth that was coming through them. They weren't speaking from an ego standpoint, like, I'm great, listen to me. It was just like, I'm not even here. I'm out of the way. This is just the truth, you know.
Right.
And that's all people want is the truth.
It's the truth.
They don't want somebody's opinion of the truth. They want the truth. Yeah. And usually when people talk, it's like through their own filter. This is what I think the way I think things should be.
And they get stuck on the thing.
Right, it's an ego thing. It's like when people do things because they want to be respected, looked up to, loved, adored. People want to feel like they're worth something. Well, if you want to feel like you're worth something, start getting out of the way of your own self, your own ego, and just start helping people with, all we should do is inspire people to live their life.
That is what you're doing. I mean, that's what I saw. And let me tell you, like, I see YouTube channels. I'm like, nah, I can't watch, or I just don't. It doesn't draw me. But when I saw Marcus going out of his house and grabbing pine needles to show us that you could walk out of your house, grab pine needles, grab some rosemary. That's what I told you. I'm like, you're going to come over and we're going to make tea. I haven't done it yet. I can't wait to grab those needles. I think I did it once. Grab the needles, make tea, go into my front yard, do the rosemary, and he's giving us all the information for free. So he has more, because right now I want more. I ordered Renee the book Free Food and Medicine, because I know she wants to forage, and so she's going to get the book and go out and start getting free food. She doesn't have to be worried about intake, and that's so. And then you have I think what Marcus is doing and what you're doing is just you're going out and you're sharing with people how they can heal themselves and have it not cost them, have it be abundant.
I teach you how to fish, basically. So I don't have to keep giving you fishes.
And then, and the funny thing is that I didn't get any feeling whatsoever about the products or things that you're selling. They were only more information for me to have. Like, I want to order the Raw Vegan Muscle DVDs because I'm fascinated how men and how women can build muscle and be raw vegan. And he's offered that to us. And these things cost money because they're productions. It's like Marcus is giving us everything we need to know for free. You don't need to buy anything. But if you did want something, you could order the book like I did, Free Food and Medicine. I'm not familiar with this one yet, but you're giving this to me. Heal Yourself 101. Can you tell us about this?
This is the one that started it all. It's basically, if you're messed up in life, if you're dying, you have health disease, you have anything, you're just not happy or free, this is the core basic book. This is what they should be giving people when they're 6 years old. It's basically getting back to the truth of nature and simplicity and how to clean out yourself. It even has like a little diagram in here how to do an enema. It's funny. It's like I make this literally so a child can understand it.
It looks very simple.
It is very simple.
Your videos are very simple. They're understandable.
And it gets to the very, and it's basically a raw food book. Anyway, it's in here somewhere.
But you're not just about raw food.
No,
clearly.
it's
Like
no. See, it's getting back to the simplicity and truth of the way we're supposed to live. And most of it is actually getting rid of stuff is more important than what you take in.
Yes.
And it's not just getting rid of the wrong foods, it's getting rid of that codependent relationship you're with, getting rid of the burdens, the financial burdens, the crap that you have in your, I guarantee if you walk around your house and get rid of 20% of everything you own, you'll feel so much better, tomorrow. I mean,
he doesn't know this, but I talk about this all the time, like how I tell people decluttering changes your life.
Not just physically in your house, but inside your head, your body.
Yes.
The people clinging onto you, sucking your energy. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
don't feel bad.
When you get rid of stuff that's holding you down, you make room. You make room for the other stuff that's going to come in that's more fitting for you. Yeah. And the reason most people don't get rid of things is because they're afraid they won't have anything else to replace it. Well, I know my relationship's dysfunctional, but if I'm afraid if I lose it, then I won't have anybody. And I need somebody to hold at night, you know. Yeah. Well, it's you got to realize there's always, the universe is infinite. The minute you make a hole, it's going to fill it with something else. You have a million choices. Like this whole world is a smorgasbord buffet of bigger, better things. So
if you keep holding on to something, then it's also telling the universe that you have a lack of abundance mentality. Almost like, I'm worried I won't be able to afford this one day. So therefore you won't be able to afford that thing that you're never using anyway. Affording
is a manipulative word of, I don't even like the word afford. Basically, when you become successful, and that is speaking your truth, everything you ever need is handed to you on a silver platter. You don't even have to pay for it. Rich people don't pay for anything. It's given to them. And if you because they have a strength of success. It doesn't mean if you're good or bad. It doesn't matter like that. What rich people have, successful people have, is the power and the courage to be themselves. And we look up to people like that and say, I wish I had, I want some of that power, and I'm willing to pay that person to have a piece of that. That's why they're successful. And people say, well, and some part of what this book talks about to get rid of is that programming that rich people are evil, they're here to suck the energy, the poor, and the money. That all rich people are poor and money is evil. If you're going to think like that, you'll never be successful. There are just as many bad, evil, nasty people in the ghetto, pimps and drug dealers, as there are in the rich people. All money does, or success, is just make you more powerful as to whatever you are. So stop saying something is good or bad. All success does is free you up to be who you really are. That's it. And so the reason most people are unhappy is because they're not really free to be themselves. They're slowly dying. That's why a lot of women are getting breast cancer, because they're not free to be.
They're stuck.
They're not nurturing life. And this is what are breasts is. They are the givers of life. And if the woman herself is not nurtured, if she's strangled in a controlling relationship, or if she's not free to express herself, if she can't express herself or isn't appreciated as a feminine being of bringing beauty to the world, then she can't give life. She can't nurture anything else, and whatever part of her nurtures is going to wither. It's common sense. And it's the same with anybody. If you can't be yourself, then you're worthless to the world. You're just a consumer. You're just sucking resources from the planet, and you're wasting time and space. Really, stop being fearful is almost the same as being selfish, because when you're fearful, you don't get anything done. You just sit there and you work a 9-to-5 job that you don't want, sucking resources from the planet. For what? What?
You're not giving life.
Right. We're here to help. We're here to make a difference. And that's what really people want to do. But they're too afraid to step out and follow their calling, because they have to pay the mortgage and the bills and the kids and the thing.
And what you are is a living example. Like, we had this woman, Lori, on, who healed herself with beautiful methods of cancer. And what she was is this gorgeous living example that it can be done. And once again, you guys, in my kitchen, I have a gorgeous living example of it can be done, because this is abundance. This is clarity. This is speaking the truth. This man is speaking the truth beautifully, giving it for free, and he's successful. And so from his story, you know that he's had it, not been aware of all of his power, given it away or gotten rid of it, been in the desert with nothing, and then built up from just greatness. So
See, the difference is before I went to the desert, I was going after things. I was, the way they program you, go after the success, the money, the cars, whatever it is, just go after it. And what happens in any relationship? If a guy keeps calling you and hassling you and coming after you, you run away, right? It's just in nature. If you run away from an animal, it runs after you. It doesn't even know why. It just runs after you. You know, it's like this is the way the world is. And if you stop and you just relax, you know, and then, okay, let's say the relationship switches. Suddenly this guy that's after you decides, nah, I'm out of here. I'm getting on with my life. Suddenly you want the guy, right? Because now he doesn't want you. Well, that's the point. Once you don't need something anymore, that's when the stuff starts coming to you. So, okay, I came back from the desert naked. I had nothing. Within 90 days, I was driving a Ferrari. It was handed to me on a silver platter. And I don't see the difference is before I wanted it, I needed it, I was going after it, I wish I had that, and I never got it. It's when I didn't need it anymore that everything, the jobs, the people that were coming to me were magical. The difference was when I finally got it, I didn't need it anymore.
So you got it.
It can be taken away, it doesn't matter. You realize that everything in your world, in your life, is on loan to you. You don't own anything. You never own anything.
That's the Indian culture teaches that. It's all borrowed. You don't take it with you when you go.
Even the people that you're in a relationship with, you're together for a little moment of time, walking through the park, but at some point, somebody says, I got to go to work over here, and the other person says, well, I got to go to work over here. Well, it's nice talking to you. We'll chat again sometime. That's what a relationship is in life. You walk through the park for a little moment of time, but then at some point, you got to get on with whatever it is you're here to do. You can't just be... You know, I mean, you can force it, but when a relationship time is over, the worst thing you could do is hang on to it and not let it breathe and live. Because I guarantee you, when you go separate ways, at some point, you're going to start texting and calling each other saying, I miss you, let's get together again sometime. It was great knowing you. Whatever it is, you're still communicating. Some people are actually closer together once they are physically apart. So it's all from how you look at it, and you got to realize everything in your life is on loan to you. Even your own body, even your own life. And once you're okay with that concept, you just start appreciating every second, every...
I feel like this happened to you in the desert.
Yeah.
Oh, and then some. Like this is
Well, once you come back and you start looking at things with wonder and appreciation and gratitude and awe, and you start seeing that everything is, there are no coincidences, everything is kind of laid out for you from the cosmic GPS, you know, the voice is being whispered to you all the time, turn left, turn right. You start following that and you go, hey, I really don't have to think anymore. I don't have to analyze things, be fearful of anything. How does a surfer stay alive? How does a surfer become the best surfer in the world? He stops thinking and he just rides that wave. He's just totally intuitive. If a surfer thinks, oh, I think the wave is going to turn to the right in a second, so I'm going to prepare for it. Bam, he's underwater, right? The minute you start thinking, right, you get the brain out of the way and you just start becoming the wave. You become the universe. And you just flow with it and you sit back and you go, I don't have to do anything anymore. It's all done for me. And I'm just going to ride this wave and enjoy the sights along the way. That's what life is. You know?
I have a question. Like, so you say, the term that you say, it's common sense. And to me, when you say it's common sense, all of these things that you're saying are common sense because they're the truth. Do these and the information that you hold in your brain and the way that you're thinking, the way you're tapped into the common sense is the gift that you're giving to us. Does that come to you when you relax? Is it something that, do these messages, how do you get these messages?
Somebody asked me in a speech last night, do you meditate, Marcus? And I go, what is meditation? It's trying to find a place of peace where you zero out and you're just accepting in the moment. You're just okay, right? I said, that's how I live.
I feel that.
Remember we go back to what I said, that the greatest moment of your life is before you die because you totally give up and you let go and you don't fight or resist anymore? Well, and to live like that your whole life, that's what meditation is to step back and just be at peace no matter what. Like right now I'm meditating because I'm totally at peace.
I'm sitting with someone who's practicing this and I can tell he's in this all the time.
And you can, but
I can feel it.
Meditating is not sitting there going, oh, you know, meditating, be on a roller coaster of life. It doesn't matter. It just means you're at peace, you're okay with whatever happens. If the world blows up tomorrow, fine. I'm okay with that.
So you don't have to remind yourself of this, really. You're in it, really.
You don't think.
Yeah.
You don't analyze. You don't. If you worry about something, that means you're worried about a possibility that might happen in the future. Usually never does, but that's what worrying is. Or depression is where you're hanging on to something in the past. Well, both of those are gone. They don't exist. The only thing that exists is like this moment right now, and I'm loving how beautiful you are, and the fact that people are watching this, and I love these lights, and I love
they're watching,
you know,
and this is like amazing. I want to tell you guys that I'm sitting here for real, and I know energy, and I can tell when the real deal happens. You know I know, and this is it. And this is not like, I don't even need, I was going to ask Marcus the question, like I was thinking, well, do you need, because sometimes I'm like, I get into a funk and I have to remind myself, or I have to call Jeff and he'll remind me, but I feel like Marcus is in that space where he doesn't even need to remind himself. And so the more that we can tap into this information and this kind of energy, we will adopt it ourselves. We may not ever get to be naked in the desert for 40 days.
You don't have to be.
We don't have to be. That's not our journey, but we have, when we can get this kind of information and get to tap in, I think that's a lot of times why people watch my videos. They say, because I want to see that energy and feel that energy and know it exists. And I'm getting that feeling right now.
This video can do the same thing. That thing that happened to me in the desert, it can happen to anybody at any time. It's literally, it's just a switch. The switch is inside you. Something goes click, and you go, that's it. I don't care anymore. I'm just living the life the way I want. I'm going to tell the truth.
This is my message today.
You know,
I'm so excited.
And if somebody resonates with that and they get it, bam! It can be happening right now. There's probably like 60 people out there right now getting it. That's it. I'm changing my life right now.
Like the light bulb.
I am changed.
I'm changed, Marcus.
Yeah.
I am. Like I feel like and I've said this before in one of the 600 or 700 videos, that you never know when your tap on the shoulder comes or your light bulb over your head.
The aha moment.
That aha moment happens, and that's why I make the videos, because I'm like, I don't know that me making some silly little nectarine jam, it's not about the fact that I'm mixing nectarines with dates in a food processor. I could just say that. I could type one sentence, but you never know when somebody's going to see that and something's going to just click. And that's what happened when it's just so great. This is inspiration, and to me, life is about being inspired and inspiring others.
That's what it is.
And I thank you so much.
What is life? You're here to live.
Yeah.
You're not here to pay bills. You're not here to drain yourself so you can help others. When you really help others, you're empowering. Like, how do I say this? Like, example of teaching someone to fish instead of constantly giving them fishes. After a while, you don't have anything left for yourself. That's why all these people are walking through life feeling all drained and empty. They're just empty shells because they just gave so much of themselves to other people. They have nothing left for themselves. If it was coming from a place of because the universe is forever. If the universe comes through you and you get out of the way, you help people to help themselves. If they're not ready, that's whatever, it's another issue. But the point is, you know you're on track when you're empowered at the end of the day and you feel more energy than at the beginning of the day. If you feel less energy at the end of the day and you feel like you have to recuperate,
not the thing.
Then you weren't coming from the right place.
No.
I mean, why do we help other people? Sometimes because we feel we have to. That's not a fun feeling to come from. Or because we want to feel appreciated or loved. We want we want to be like, I'm doing this for you because I want you to like me.
Right.
You know, that's not the right reason either. You have to come from a place of,
it feels good.
I really just want to have some fun with life, and I'm inspiring you by, I'm living the example, and it lights people up. All you got to do is be you. You don't have to go out of your way to be something you're not. And if you live your truth, if you live your truth and you're just an inspirational example to others, that's all you really need to do.
Yes.
How hard is that, to speak the truth? It's actually the hardest thing in the world for a lot of people, but once you start doing it, it's like, I really don't need to know the right people. I don't need money. I don't need the right materials. I don't need the right job. It all just comes to you naturally because you're speaking the truth, and it's you'll get it once you start doing it.
You do it, and when you know, like I said, just because you're good at something, it doesn't mean that that's what you're supposed to do on this planet. Like, I make jewelry, I just showed you, and it's beautiful, and it puts me in a nice, happy state. But when I make the videos, when I'm sharing, when I get to share somebody like you, I'm alive. It doesn't cost me an ounce of energy. I could do it all day long, and then at the end of the day, I feel good.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Like, I used to be one of the the top painters in the world. I was the fastest photorealistic painter. You can see
Really?
my stuff on marcuspaintings.com.
Okay.
And I hated doing it. I mean, I was so good at it, I thought, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Because I'm good at it. But I hated doing it. It wasn't me. And I'd go home, and my dad would not be eating right, and I'd say, you know, you should be like blah, 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 blah. You should be eating better. And he'd laugh at me and go, you should be a motivational speaker. And I'd say, yeah, how am I going to get paid doing that, you know? And little did I know that, you know, years down the road, something that was so easy for me would be what set me on the map, you know? And I don't really have to do anything but be myself. And I'm flown all over the world to do it. Okay, some people out there might say, well, Marcus, I'm just a homemaker. That's all I am. All right, who's one of the richest people in the world? Martha Stewart, right? And all she does is she's just promoting homemaking. I mean, it doesn't matter what you like to do.
Do your thing. And
then other people would say, well, okay, well, there's other people already doing that. Okay, go to a bookstore. Let's pick raw food. Okay, that's the subject. There is a whole shelf full of raw food books by all these different people. And if you're into raw food, you probably at home right now have 20 books on raw food because that's what you like, or fishing, or woodworking, or whatever it is that you like to do. You've got 20 books from 20 different people. So the point is, whatever it is, subject matter that you are into, there's people are buying up the books by whoever writes it. So you're going to be in there with the mix with all the other people. So stop worrying that somebody else has already done it. Nobody's done it your way. Nobody's done it with your attitude, with your personality.
With your flair of what you have to offer with it. Like, I didn't know I'd be doing raw food and talking about feng shui and decluttering, but that's what I do. And crystals and stones and relationships and healing. Everything I've done my whole life ends up here because I just show who I am. And so it's leading me to I don't know why I want to talk about the green formula. I want to talk about the protein powder. This sold out, Jeff told me, in a day.
One day.
So we can't get this for another month, but we can order it and get it back ordered in one day. Because if you know what Marcus has been doing, investigating plants and their properties, and I don't know how he remembers everything, but the brain he has is like wild. Like, he remembers everything. And I literally saw him blending a tree in the Vitamix and showing us how to make a powder and then how to make a capsule. And it was just a tree in the backyard that fixes urinary tract infections. And I was like, wow, just like that. But so if we have somebody who has this amount of information, who only likes the best, who's only willing to work and get the best, and has tried everything on the planet as far as green powders and protein. So I am really interested in this green powder, and then I'd like you to explain, if you would, the protein powder that's coming out.
Yeah, yes? This all started when I was writing the book Free Food and Medicine, the Worldwide Edible Plant Guide. I was going through thousands of plants from all over the world, and
hold on, we got an airplane. And I just want you guys to know for real that this is so not about selling product. I brought this in because I want to try this. And I'm also interested because I'm really interested in bodybuilding these days. And I have a dear, close person to me who's bodybuilding. And I want to know more about how to get the best ingredients in. So that's why we're talking about this. It doesn't, so go ahead.
So anyway, and I basically created that for me first. I mean, I was coming across all these plants when I was studying. So I want to try this. I want to add that. I want to add that. And and so I made my own mixture, and I didn't care how much it cost, and I didn't care where I mean, it's from all over the world.
You keep talking. I'm going to get a glass of
water.
Go for it. I have to try it. So keep talking about what's in here, and so like mallow and
I'm the only guy in the world that puts mallow. Most of these are wild plants. Because I wrote my book on wild plants. Wild plants are a lot more powerful than farm plants because they grow roots 120 feet deep because they don't get watered. So they are a lot more intense because they suck up all the saponins, sterols, alkaloids, glycosides from the ground. And so if you ever eat a wild plant like a dandelion or something, you're like, whoa, that's intense. So what I did is I got all these wild plants together and made a mixture with it, with the most powerful plants on the planet. And I made this mixture to, if I don't, like yesterday I was in a hotel. They don't have any food that's worth eating, so I just put some of this in some water and drank it, and that was my breakfast.
Okay.
And I made
if I travel light like you,
go on an airplane,
Gandhi and Jesus and Marcus, then I'm just going to bring this in my bag. Done.
Just put some in a little baggie and take it with you.
And maybe the protein powder.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what this is. It's like it's
It's
pretty intense stuff, and I made it taste good too, which was really challenging. The real challenge was to make it affordable because
because it's such good ingredients.
Yeah,
so how much is a bottle like this? Just out of
most people have fillers, and there's this one here. What is it? It's normally $49.95, but it's $39 for the launch price. Yeah, but the point is, there's hardly any profit. Most other people,
that's the problem because they put in
80% of the other people's products is all profit.
The rice. Yeah,
85% of this is what it costs to make it.
I'm telling you, I trust you and what you're putting in your stuff, and so you got to know that there's no point in spending money on a jar of something that has stuff in it that's not organic or not.
Or it's just filler. It's just like rice powder or something.
This is my theory on food. Like there's so many good things that we need to put in our body because you were talking about how our soil, even if we're buying organic food, it's not mineral rich.
It doesn't
have as much. So we kind of need this stuff. And how much? I mean, I'm making nettle tea. I need my green powder. I've got to get my vitamin C in. Who has time for extra stuff that doesn't count? That's just filler and is going to constipate you. Like you were saying.
And that's what the protein powder, which is really cool. Most protein powders out there, they're like 80% or more rice powder, and that's like the cheapest stuff in the world. It's not that bad, but it doesn't cost much, and it constipates. All that stuff like the rice, pea, and hemp, you put that together, and you get a constipating. It turns into cement in your body. And I've tried all the other protein powders out there, and I made the protein powder for myself. And the cool thing about that is like it actually helps you go in the bathroom because it's got all the greens and the fiber, and it's got stuff in there that nobody else has, like durian. I'm the only guy in the world that has durian in the protein powder. Most people don't even know what durian is. And then I have pine nuts, which is one of the most expensive things you could ever buy. That's why nobody else uses it, but there is no nut or seed in the world, no other non-vegan source of nuts or seeds that is higher in protein than pine nuts. And I found a special process in Russia that is able to freeze dry it so it doesn't go rancid in there. It's like the most unique protein powder mix, and it's the only one that actually helps you go to the bathroom. Cheers. I talk too much, don't I?
No way. No way. I told Marcus, I feel like I want to go sit like anywhere he is for like 2 weeks and just kind of listen to what's going on because it's just, you are a wealth of information and I find it extremely fascinating. I feel like I am in the company of brilliance and the truth and authenticity, and I can't get enough of that. So the more you speak, the faster you speak, the more it gets in. Whatever doesn't get in, I can read about, I can watch videos about, I can ask you questions in the next interview. But I am so delighted. I don't know if there's anything else we want to say. I know this is a long video, but I'm telling you, this is the real deal. The real deal. The real deal we have here. So I am completely delighted. I want to thank Jeff, the Rothkranz, for facilitating this beautiful situation, this beautiful happening, and
we're igniting the world. They're sending the fire trucks out.
We're totally changing the world. Yay.
It's good we're ending this way because I'm probably gonna have green lips in a minute.
I feel so good. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty good for green powders.
Right?
Yeah. Wait till you try the protein powder.
I'm so excited to try the protein powder. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you guys, and we get to do this. This is just way too much fun, or just the right amount of fun. So is there anything else we wanted to say?
Follow your heart and find your peace. It's really the only way you're going to make it.
Can you look into their eyes again? I want to make sure because
his
eyes, no, but like there's like a brightness, like an openness, like just this awareness, and it's awake. It's being awake, and then it doesn't go away. I can see that the awake thing is happening consistently. So that's,
I had my eyes surgically wired open so they never close.
That's what it looks like. They're just open, like awake.
Yeah.
Like every moment could have something really special.
There is wonder in every moment.
Yeah.
And you just fall in love. I'm a triple Leo, so I'm like intensely romantic. I love.
You guys are gonna fall in love with him.
I love everything, every sight, every sound, every smell, every touch, everything, all the sensations. It's just you're just like a kid, like an animal. It's like wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm sensing, and I'm telling you. Okay, so I'm posting all kinds of links below. We're gonna hear more from Marcus, and just what a treat to be able to have you in this kitchen with us. So thank you so very much for being here, for saying yes to us.
That was a hug for you guys too.
Yeah, big hugs to you guys, and get your greens on. We're good. Jeff's gonna shut the camera. unless I find the remote first. I found it. I'll handle it. We're on. Hi everybody, it's Dara, and I am here with Marcus Rothkranz. And it's amazing because this is just such a serendipity. A couple of months ago, I decided that I really wanted to meet Marcus, and because of Jeff, the photographer, and divine timing, it happened today. And today, we got to have lunch at Cafe Gratitude, and I found out why it is that my intuition said meet Marcus, and it's because that Marcus is representing my next level of learning and transformation. And what I have noticed is that, and the funny thing is right now we're like looking at each other, and sometimes we're going to look at you.
I don't know who to look at.
No, I want you to look at them because I want to share this with you guys. The point of this is that I am going to be seeing all of his videos and reading his books, and since I started finding out about what Marcus has been sharing with the world, I am obsessed. But when I started seeing the things that you have been offering to the world, free food and medicine, how to heal yourselves naturally and free, and raw vegan muscle, and how to look younger, and how to... I had no idea this was going on, honestly, because I haven't been tapped into other people's videos, and I just want to say that, Mark...
The truth, the best time when people actually get along is after they break up, because then they start telling each other what they really would have said, and they say, why didn't you say that when we were together? You know, and it's like, but that's just the point. Once you give up, that's when the truth starts coming out. That's when the truth starts coming in. And the greatest moment of your life is the moment before you die, because that's when you give up. You're no longer fighting. You're not resisting anymore.
That just makes me want to take a deep breath. Yeah. This is what I heard at lunch, and I was like, now I know why I wanted to meet Marcus. Like, I know a lot of the stuff, we're very similar. Like, we talk about, it's not just the food, it's feeling, and it's the emotions, and it's a thought process, and it's so much. It's relationships, your relationship to your food.
Exactly.
It's getting to the, you were talking about also, it's getting to the, did we say enough about the desert? Okay, you went into the desert.
We can always go back.
Okay, we can go back. So it's not enough. It's about getting to the root of what's making you eat the foods.
Right. Well, it's not, people eat the wrong foods and things, and junk food and alcohol and cigarettes and other addictive things. And I say, stop blaming the cigarettes and the alcohol and the food. Why are people doing that? Why? Everybody knows an apple's better for you than pizza. So why are we not eating apples? Most people eating pizzas?
Why?
It's because they want to feel good for the next 4 hours. They don't care. It's the comfort food. It makes them feel good. It's like a drug. It's like, it just makes me feel good. I need this to just make it till tomorrow. And that's why people do that. Even though
this has a lot to share with us. So what I'm going to do here is just touch on some of the things that we talked about at lunch, and so you can share that with our YouTube family.
I'm ready.
Okay, so there's many things that I'm fascinated with, and there's so many things. There's traveling light. There's the fact that you spent 40 days in the desert nude.
That was the easy part, yeah.
I think that must be why there's just this incredible magic, and it's not only the information that you have that you're sharing, but there's a spiritual or a philosophical lightness of being that has magic and mystery to it that is completely intriguing to me. So we can touch on your journey and how that experience changed you, and then we can talk about this green product that I can't even tell you what's in here that I'm excited about, and the books and the free food and medicine. So let's start whatever sparks your interest.
Ask a question.
Okay, I am going to say that what I want to know is, I think the thing that was really interesting to me at lunch was the idea of traveling light. And you know what I mean? Like I go and I get worried if I travel somewhere that I need to bring my chia seeds and my spirulina, and I don't want to feel heavy. My whole process, and everybody on this family channel knows that I'm decluttering and I want to be light.
Yeah.
And I know that decluttering, creating space, creates opportunity for new things.
Yeah.
And I think that you have achieved that. You're actually living that. Can you tell me about that?
I used to treat
Look
everything.
at them.
I used to treat everything like it was a camping trip. I used to it was so packed with this huge, massive backpack in life. You know, where I was ready for anything. I had like the all-purpose Swiss Army knife with everything on it, and you know, the shovel, the 6 things to. Anyway, and I had all this food and ready to just. If I was in the middle of nowhere and I was stranded, I was okay and I was ready for that.
Right.
And I realized after I was naked in the desert and I gave up. Literally, I went in there not even expecting to come back. I realized I really don't need anything. Everything that you ever need in life it's wherever you are, you're taken care of no matter what. That's the bottom line in life. It's no matter where you are and what you're doing. Even if you think you're alone, you don't own anything, you're on the street, you're always going to be taken care of. I was in the desert, literally in the middle of
Why? Like what? I'm not like, yeah.
Why was I in the desert? I had the good life that they told you to get. I was in Hollywood. I had the house, the wife, the car, all the material things, and I wasn't happy, and I was dying. I was actually falling. My heart was giving out. My doctor said I didn't have much longer. I was bleeding when I went to the bathroom. My glasses thicker than my finger.
Really?
I was so congested I couldn't breathe. I was whistling when I was breathing. I'd like cough out or I'd choke to death. It was bad. And I wasn't happy.
You would never know. This man's 50 years old. He's 50.
I'm 51 this year.
51.
Yeah, there's a picture in the back of my book here where you can see.
We're all gonna Google you. We're gonna post links below. Everybody's gonna see what you used to look like at 27, but he's like gorgeous at 50 now. So they thought that you had this whole Hollywood life, and then you weren't happy that you had the courage to, or the.
Well, no, that's just it. It's that you get to a point in life where you just give up. Where it's either the universe pulls the rug out from under you, or you just have so much on your shoulders that it just collapses and you just can't go anymore. And actually, one of the best things that could have happened to a lot of people lately is that they had their house taken away and things were repossessed. It's like people look back on that now and go, "That's the best thing that ever happened to me." It's like now I'm free to finally get going on what I'm really here to do. But for me, it was like I just gave up. I had too much. I don't know. I just didn't want to go on the way I was, and so I just gave everything away. Literally took my clothes off, walked in the naked desert. I got down to 0, and I said to the point where I don't even care if I live, because unless I know the truth, I just don't even want to be around. And I think that's kind of how we all kind of feel deep inside. It's like, just tell me the truth. Just tell me what I have to deal with, and then I can deal with it. But if everybody just tells people what they think they want to hear, that's not the truth. And that's why there's usually a lot of relationship problems, because people aren't really telling each other